Welcome to Match Day Live. We are here bright and early on this Sunday morning as City take on PSG. It is the final of the Perth International Cup over in Australia. Of course, our women's team got to the final by beating Leicester in the semi-finals, so very much looking forward to today's game. And I'm so happy to be joined in the studio by former Manchester City player and one of the absolute best pundits in the game. It's Izzy Christiansen. You always get embarrassed when I introduce you.
And I can't believe the line. I mean, I'm very flattered, but I don't think I deserve that line. But I'll take it nonetheless.
You always are. You always are. Always, absolutely one of the best. And I don't know why you always get so shy. But I love to have you here, Izzy. Thank you so much for being here with me today. And I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wasn't able to watch Wednesday's game live because I was working. I caught the highlights.
Yep.
But I can't wait. It's 3 weeks until the WSL is back.
Yep.
I just can't wait. I'm just really excited to watch this team, really excited to see the new signings. I'm ready for it to be back now, Izzy.
Absolutely. I think I am as well. Really looking forward to seeing how the girls get on today. Top opposition in PSG. I think Alex Greenwood's spoken about that pre-match, about playing, top European opposition, getting ready for the Champions League this year. Obviously, Man City back in the Champions League, which is mega. And of course, a really good experience to, embed the new signings, which I think City have done some really good business in the summer, and hopefully sustain a big title charge this season in the WSL.
As soon as you said title charge, my stomach went, because I'm not quite over the end of last season yet. Yeah. I think I will be come the next 3 weeks, but there's still a bit of pain there. So when you said title charge, my stomach did jump. But are you putting, is that you're putting City, we're fighting again for it?
Yeah, got to be. A club as big as this with the players that Manchester City have got in the team, absolutely. And I think, like you say, it obviously hurt last season for Man City fans because it was so close. And had they beaten Arsenal here at the Joy Stadium, I think, it would have been, the trophy would have been here in Manchester. But I genuinely think this season, again, they're going to go up another level. I think the signings they brought in will help them do that. And, I think first game of the season, Arsenal away. I mean, it's a great start when you're feeling fresh, you're ready for it, your motivation's at its absolute highest. I think it's a great time to play Arsenal, and that has to be a game where City go to win and then get off to a good start.
Oh, good. I'm glad you think it's a good game to play, because when I saw the fixtures came out, I was like, you kidding me? So I'm glad you've said that. Well, I'm really looking forward to spending the afternoon with you, finding out a little bit more about how you're getting on with the under-16s as well. So we'll get to that. But it's time for today's team news. So here is City's 11 for the game against PSG. So there is 5 changes from the starting 11 from Wednesday night. So you have got back in goal, it is Yamashita, of course, our new signing this summer. And then it is, of course, Alex Greenwood, who is the captain, Mary Fowler, Lauren Hemp, Alana Kennedy, Leah Uwabi, Jess Park, Kirsten Kasperai, Laura Bunkild-Brown. Bonnie Shaw is back in the starting 11, and it's Yui Hasegawa. So that is the starting 11 for City for today. So 5 changes from the team that got past Leicester on penalties midweek as well. And the substitutes there, they are on your screen there as well. A packed out substitutes bench there for City today, which is good because on Wednesday in the semi-final, Gareth Taylor did use 21 of the 23 players that were available that day. It was only academy prospect Lily Murphy and Laia Alexandri, of course, who only joined the group recently after the Olympics, that didn't get a game. Everybody else got minutes on Wednesday. So there you can see the team there is on your screen now. So Izzy, 5 changes from the team that started on Wednesday. Are we to think, obviously, at a pre-season stage when so many of the players got minutes on Wednesday, are we looking at just minutes? Are we managing minutes? Is it rotation? Or for you, for some of those players that have started, is that perhaps a performance thing? And I'm looking, obviously, at Yamashita there.
Yeah, well, I think Yamashita's the best place to start. I think bringing in the Japanese #1 goalkeeper, who's got a wealth of experience into this club, I think is really important to bolster not just the depth within the squad, but also the experience and the leaders within the group. From what I know, she's got leadership qualities, she's got real presence, and I think she made a massive impact in the first game, as we can see. Fantastic sprawling save, I think that's the right goalkeeping term. But yeah, I think bringing her in, competition for Chiara Keating, who obviously we know has been exceptional since her rise into the first team at Man City. Academy product, and again, this is just another clip from the game against Leicester in the former game. She's, you know, there we go, another brilliant save, parries it away from danger. So I think having her in the side and getting the start today, and of course this is a penalty shootout, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where she was the hero.
How hard is it, Izzy, to come into your first game? This is your first minutes as a Manchester City player, and you are in a penalty shootout to put your team into a final. Like, I imagine that's tough as a player, but as a goalkeeper, how hard do you think that is?
Do you know what? I think it's funny. Goalkeepers are a rare, different breed, let's say. We all know that. All the goalkeepers we've known. I know Joe Hartwell from, you know, Man City over the years.
David James on the show yesterday.
Karen Bardsley.
Yes.
They're different people, right? And I think they absolutely love penalty shootouts. And I think it's just what you'd put on the remit as part of the job. And I think for Yamashita to come into the side, play half the game, we've shown the clips, she looks good. To save a penalty, her confidence will be up here. And I think she's come into this squad to push. And I think we'll have a really nice battle between the two goalkeepers this season at City. And obviously Sandy McKeever recovering from her ACL injury to be put back into the mix as well, probably around December, Christmas time. So, yeah, there's a good, strong goalkeeper union there.
Yeah, we know that City are going to have so many fixtures this year. You mentioned the Champions League is back as well, so I'm so happy that we've got what looks like two brilliant number ones that can rotate if needed to cover all of the competitions that we're going to be playing in. Looking at that starting 11 as well, it seems to be a really pivotal season this year for Jess Park. Of course, academy prospect. She's been out on loan a few times. We saw her break through. I mean, particularly I remember in that Derby game where she was just phenomenal. The game that we had here at the Etihad. She starts again today. Is this season going to be a real pivotal moment for Jess Park?
I think so. I mean, firstly, what a player. Like, her rise, she came on loan when I was playing for Everton, she came on loan, so I had a season with her, which was brilliant because it was kind of her season of finding herself within minutes within the WSL. She came back into this environment at Manchester City, and to see her rise last season, I would probably describe it as meteoric. I think she's gone from here, a proper good player, to here and established. She's probably one of the first names on Gareth Taylor's team sheet. Her consistency in that position, I mean, having played that midfield role for City, there's a very fine level of detail you need to understand, and to see Jess Park, you know, take on board that detail and apply it on a consistent basis, because Gareth Taylor's big on consistency, and I think how she played last season, she was fantastic. Like you say, the Derby game in particular stood out. I think the Chelsea game away in the League Cup, she stood out. And in the league, sorry. I think she's just a magnificent young player. The challenge for her this season is keep your shirt. And we know we've got Laura Blinkilde-Brown, who's coming in. She's kind of rising. We've got Jill Ward to come back in, who's probably nailed on, you know, a starting number 10 when she's fully fit. What an exciting player she is. Laura Coombs, Jess Park. So it's going to be a battle there, but that's what you need, especially when you're playing Champions League football as well.
That is such a talent of players, by the way. You started listing them off there, and I was like, oh, yes, we are going to fight again for the title this year. So, yes, I'm really looking forward to seeing Jess Park today and throughout the season as well. Also in the starting 11, of course, the name that most City fans' eyes is going to jump to is absolute happiness that Bunny Shaw is back starting again today. Look at that smile, of course, PFA Player of the Year. So absolutely thrilled to see her back in the starting 11 and fit and ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say if she was fit at the back end of last season, I think...
Oh, don't.
I think the league title again would have been in Manchester, but yeah, she had that foot injury, which was really costly for Man City because of, you know, what impact she has. You know, we're comparing her to Haaland in terms of the impact in that number 9 role for the men's team, for the women's team. She's phenomenal, and, you know, she's hard to play against because of her power and pace and kind of strength within the box. You know, the way that City play with the wide players, I mean, look at her holding all these trophies. I mean, she
won everything.
She's going to run out of space. But yeah, she's magnificent. I think Man City fans would be very excited about her this season, and I think the competition for places, again, you talk about that front line, you know, if Bunny Shaw isn't, you know, at her top level, which I expect she will be, you know, there's other players that can come in and play that role. The Mary Fowlers, Lauren Hemp can play down the middle as well. So, yeah, I think it's an exciting squad.
And we've got Poppy Pritchard as well, of course. She's only 18 years old. Yep. She signed back in January. We saw her a few times towards the end of the season. She's on the bench today. She'll be there as another option as well.
Yep.
But of course as well, Midar. Now we should say that Midamar's not in the squad today just because her minutes are still being managed. Nothing to worry about, just minutes being managed. I cannot wait to see Midar in a City shirt in real life as well. So it's great news that we've got like you say, an abundance of players now.
Absolutely. When you speak about competition, I think Midar can play that sort of number 10 role, and she can play the number 9 role as well. So, she's managing her recovery from injury, but I still think it's, a really shrewd signing from Manchester City to bring her in. And, eyes there on Mary Fowler, a player which I know Gareth Taylor speaks very highly of in the media. She's a player, blow my own trumpet here, but I called it with her a few years ago. I think she's unbelievable. And I think where her game can go is frightening. To have her at Manchester City, playing in this system, the requirement of the technical detail that you need to play in this team, Mary Fowler's got it. And she had a fantastic, sort of back end of last season. She kept Chloe Kelly out the side, and we know how good Chloe Kelly is. I think that the Australians will also be happy to see Mary Fowler and Alana Kennedy on the team sheet today.
As soon as I saw that, I thought, I'm so happy for them that they get to start in their home country as well. And I bet they've got friends and family there. Obviously, Australia's a big place, I'm aware of that. But I bet they've got friends and family there as well, which is so lovely for them as well. You can see there's the team warming up today. It's a 10 past 10 in the UK. Don't know why, no idea. Kick-off time today, 10 past 10. And of course, you can get full commentary of the game as always on the Manchester City app as well. So we're going to go over now. We heard a little bit earlier from our manager, Gareth Taylor.
Gareth, a few days on from our first friendly of the summer, how have you reflected on that performance since?
Yeah, some good parts of the performance for sure. I think that we've been working on specific things that we felt we would encounter against most teams this season, and how we were going to be able to build how we wanted to, and obviously try and regain the ball. And you could see there were some situations within that game where we got some really good stuff. Of course, it's really difficult to push for more and more things and be super demanding because there's a lot of changes. And I think, it's managing players load these days is probably the most difficult thing, particularly in pre-season. And we just want to make sure everybody comes through fit and healthy.
And is everyone fit and healthy for PSG tomorrow?
Yeah, pretty much. I think there's a couple of players who's are load compromised, and we have to make sure we manage them in the right way. But I think we've had good training numbers, which has been good. It's allowed us to do a number of things out here in Perth. Really good environment for us to be together, to collaborate, rather than being back at the CFA where sometimes players are out of the door in the afternoon. It's really a good opportunity for us to get to know each other really well, staff and players, and I think it's been a really good environment for us to have our pre-season in.
A few weeks until the real competitive action comes along. How much of a bearing do individual performances in these matches have on your selection when that does come along?
Well, yeah, of course. I think, what we're hoping to do this season is go into multiple game weeks where we understand that it's really difficult to remain with the same team. It's pretty much impossible. So we have to have a number of options. And of course, you're always looking at pre-season, you're always looking at individual performances, team performances, kind of cohesion between certain units. So yeah, of course, we're watching those things all of the time. And of course, sometimes things change when you want to make a selection, and for whatever reason, maybe an injury that has not allowed you to go that way. But we're pretty comfortable with the squad we have so far, and the new players are settling in really well. PSG
are the opponents tomorrow. I know you went to watch them on Thursday night, beat West Ham. What did you make of them?
Yeah, there was, they were probably slightly better team, I felt. They built up in various formations. So, of course, they're a decent team. They have decent individuals. I think that, they've probably been similar to us in their own domestic league of really fighting to firstly be in the Champions League, had to qualify twice over the last couple of seasons, but get to the semi-finals, which tells you everything about the qualification process and the level of teams that are in there. And of course, always pushing Lyon for the titles. So yeah, good team. Probably similar to us in where they're at with their pre-season. French players being away in the Olympics. So it'll be an interesting game tomorrow.
And that opportunity to play someone from overseas as well. We've played a lot of teams from the WSL a lot over the last few years, but ahead of the Champions League, playing someone from overseas, seeing a new team, how important will that be?
Yeah, I think it'd be good. Of course, you want to try something different. You want to play against those European teams, and no disrespect to the other teams who are here in this competition. But like you say, we play those, and this is going to be a nice game for us.
And finally, pre-season is about the bigger picture, but just confidence-wise, lifting some silverware tomorrow would be handy for the team? Yeah,
it would be nice, but it's kind of not the be-all and end-all. I think any type of competition you go into, you want to be competitive, you want to be there, and you want to be battling for it, and we certainly will be. We'll fight all the way till the end. If we can win, great. If we don't, nothing really changes from either winning or not winning. So, you know, it's a process for us of pre-season being an important part of helping us in the new season. And yeah, that's where it sits for us, as much as we want to win.
Thank you, Gareth. Good luck
Cheers.
tomorrow.
Thank you.
That was our manager, Gareth Taylor. He's so chill, is he? Like, he's just the most like relaxed, like laid back man. I feel like if I was in his presence, it'd chill me out. Have you ever seen him like not chilled?
I've passed him a few times in the corridor lately, actually. I mean, not now they're in Australia, but he always seems very relaxed, very in control. And yeah, he's just come across that way there as well, hasn't he?
I love the way as well he was talking about pre-season. It reminded me so much of Pep as well. It's just like, it's just a game. It doesn't, you know, it's not about winning in the pre-season, which of course we know. We saw it in the men's team as well. They didn't win a lot of games over pre-season at all, but then obviously you come into the start of the season. So he was just sort of highlighting there the importance of the minutes for everybody and of the team and of the playing, not necessarily about the winning. But if we win, of course, that would just be a lovely bonus.
Winning is, in pre-season, it's a bonus. And you need to have that mentality. But I think what's important in pre-season is building that mentality within the squad on the training pitch. The games are a way to, yes, get minutes, get competitive, you know, battles, duels on the pitch. And I think this is the perfect game for Man City right now, where they're at, to play, you know, a top European team, to challenge themselves against really physical players, technical players. And I think the training minutes at the moment are the most important to build up. He alluded to cohesion there across units and things like that. I think that's super important with new players coming in. And Gareth mentioned it as well, you know, possibly 2 or 3 game weeks throughout the season with the Champions League now. So to have that flexibility to rotate the team, manage minutes, to make sure that every Man City team that gets put out on the grass, you know, for every game is there to compete and there to win. But the training minutes are important. So I think for them on tour in Australia, if they've had, you know, really good sort of time on the pitch where they've developed those relationships, that'll be important for the flight home, and they've got long enough flight to reflect on that, haven't they?
Yes, they really will as well. Yes, absolutely. So, of course, the first pre-season friendly was on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. We played Leicester. Let's have a look now if you haven't seen any of it yet, or you just would like to see again. Here are some highlights from that first game.
Well, Leicester City looking to build. Sayori Takarada on the edge of the box, wakes away into the penalty area, gets the shot away. Good build-up from Leicester City. Chiara Keating forced into the save, diving to her right. Now Deanne Rose working away across the penalty area, gets the shot away, bit of a deflection on the way through, but a good save from Ayaka Yamashita. Mary Fowler coming onto the ball. Fowler with the effort. Good save this time from Lise Kopp. Well, that would have been some moment for Mary Fowler in front of her fellow Australians. Fujimo. Midar waiting. Here's the chance. Oh, it's onto the crossbar. Midar maybe just stretching. Jess Park on the follow-up. Goes for the Hollywood curling effort, but wide of the target. Oh, Leicester City have given possession away. Here's Fujimo. Shaw making the angle. Here's the run. Here's the strike. Kopp making the save at the near post. What a moment that would have been for Bunny Shaw on the comeback. Fowler to Midar. Oh, lovely check back inside. Well, it's a challenge from Lise Kopp. Referee had a look at it, shaking her head, not interested. And Midar just cannot believe it. Midar to send Manchester City through, and they will meet the winners of Thursday's fixture between Paris Saint-Germain and West Ham.
Love that. Midar getting the winning penalty there as City beat Leicester. So she's not in the squad today. It's a case of managing minutes, Gareth Taylor has said. So we won't get to see her yet, but I'm very much looking forward to seeing her in a City shirt in the WSL very, very soon as well. Just a little cameo from her at the end of that game, Izzy. Just a little taste of what, obviously the WSL's all-time top goal scorer might be bringing to us. Just to make us excited.
I think City fans can be very excited about the arrival of Midar. I think she's shown everybody in the league what she can do. She's shown it on an international stage, and she's had a rocky time of late, with minutes and the nasty injury she had to her ACL. But look, bursting from midfield, first touch, brilliant. I'm a little bit confused why that wasn't given as a penalty, but anyway, we move on.
We all are.
We move on. She can't believe it, can she? But that is a flavour of what she can do. She'll be very, very exciting in this City team, and good to see Gareth Taylor sees the funny side in that. But it's only pre-season, but this is what she's about. She would have just slotted that had she not been taken out.
Is that one of the worst decisions you've ever seen?
I mean, come on now. But hey, you know what? Recenter yourself, and then she does that. So she's going to be a very exciting prospect for this team this season.
Somebody that's got so much success and is so highly thought of in the women's game, what will she bring to a dressing room that does have a lot of young players in?
Yeah, I mean, there you go, experience. And I think you look at that Manchester City squad, and I think now it's the changing of the guard a little bit. Alex Greenwood obviously being the captain. She's got a wealth of experience and leadership qualities, but I think there needs to be a little bit of a step up from others as well. I think Midar coming in, doesn't matter whether you're a new player or not, you can lead. I think Bunny Shaw there, we saw images of her with the captain's armband on. She's a leader in her own right. I think Yui Hasegawa leads by the way that she plays, and I think that's now the challenge for the players like Lauren Hemp, Alana Kennedy, Leia Alejandri, who, leadership qualities within them. I think it's time now for City to step up and have that grit. Because the title charge, there's some very happy fans. The title charge won't be won with one leader. I think everybody's got to find a way to lead within the group this season.
Of course, especially in a season where obviously Steph's not around
exactly.
squad daily anymore as well. So leaders definitely.
Yep.
I love seeing the shirts there. I love that. That was the Hemp, Fowler and Midar shirt. So I love to see that as well. And another Fowler shirt there. We mentioned a little bit earlier for Mary Fowler and Alana Kennedy to be back in Australia. It'd be wonderful for them. There's a shot of Mary. I thought she was really impressive in the Leicester game as well. Where do you see Mary's role this season? What do you think her aims for the season are going to be? I think
on a personal level, I'd probably put her and Jess Park in the same bracket of keep your shirt. I think, she's very much loved by fans, and she's a very humble human as well. I read an interview with her lately where she said she doesn't get recognised in Manchester and she likes that. But I said that's not the way to keep under the radar, because now City fans will see that and probably go and find out where she is. But she's a player, like I said, similar to Jess Park. Keep your shirt. I think, again, Gareth Taylor's going to need that depth to use it throughout the season, but she's exciting and I can't wait to see what she can do this season.
Yeah, me too, very much so. We mentioned the new goalkeeper as well, Yamashita, a little bit earlier as well. Have you got any idea why Japan is producing so many incredibly talented female footballers at the minute? Because, of course, we've got 4 Japanese players in our squad, and there's Japanese players scattered all across the WSL and all across Europe now as well.
Yeah, I think this is a market which is interesting because we've had influxes of different, regions of the globe which have produced players that have come into this league in England. We look at the Australian market. There was an influx of them about 4 or 5 years ago. The Sam Kerrs, the Alana Kennedys coming over, Steph Catleys. And I think now we're in a stage where it's the Japanese market, which is very popular to football clubs in England. I think the way that the game has grown, I think now what separates teams and players is not physical attributes, it's more tactical and technical attributes now. Everybody can compete physically with each other now. This is now a case of, who's got that level of technical detail, the intricacy to find that key pass, to make that key shot, key pass, assist, whatever it is. And I think the Japanese market is an area, in the men's game as well, where, you know, you do tend to find tidy players with exceptional attitudes, good for team morale. And I think Manchester City is a team which has clearly targeted that market, and we know with Yui Hasegawa what an impact she's had. And I think Yamashita in particular, and Fujino, who we saw glimpses of there in the second half against Leicester, of what she can do. I think, yeah, there'll be real assets to this team.
Great debuts for the both of them in that team very much as well. So
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So while the team have been out in Australia, they haven't just been playing football. They've been getting involved in some of the wonderful programmes that are being run by Melbourne City FC out there. So this is a wonderful, I mean, as you know, City, we're all about City in the community here, but City sister clubs all over the globe are doing incredible work out in the community. So we sent Mary Fowler and Lauren Hemp out to do some coaching.
There are so many young faces participating in the clinics today. How important do you think these grassroots events are for growing the game and fostering a love of football?
Yeah, I think it's really nice, like, just to get kids out and give them exposure to, you know, good quality football and coaching. Yeah, I think it's, you know, nice to have like a high level of football, give them access to that, because I think sometimes, you know, kids are so keen to get out there and learn new stuff, but don't always know where to start or where they can get that level of coaching. So it's really nice to see that they have more access now.
Yeah, I think it's massive. I know definitely when I was younger, growing up and being able to come to your local pitch and come and take up football, I think it's so important just to get girls and boys involved and, yeah, hopefully create mini Mary Fowlers and Lauren Hemps when they're older.
We've seen some exciting young talent in the clinics behind us today. As someone who was in their shoes not that long ago, is there any advice you'd give to these aspiring footballers?
I think the biggest thing for me is to enjoy it. I took up football just because I loved the game and I love being part of it, and it just helped me throughout my career, and I still enjoy playing it now, so I'd probably definitely say enjoy it and just don't be afraid to make mistakes, be confident and believe in yourself.
Yeah, I think the big thing for me is, like, obviously enjoying it. I think I've carried that on till today. But I think if I bring it back more to when I was their age, I'd say probably not being afraid to try new things. I think obviously, like, when you do something wrong, like, sometimes the initial feeling is just embarrassment and then you don't want to try it again, but you know, you're never going to get better at something if you don't keep on doing it. So yeah, I'd just say keep on doing things that are uncomfortable and slowly you'll get better.
Manchester City Football School provides great exposure to the Man City training and philosophy that focus on skills, creativity and game intelligence. How important do you think that is for the development of the next generation of footballers?
Yeah, I think that's massive. Like, I think at a young age, that's when you pick up so many valuable lessons, and I think being able to do that so young is going to help these kids further in their careers. Like, I look back at my career and I think a lot of the stuff that I did when I was their age and I was younger, like, that really helped me to today. So yeah, I think just having, you know, that exposure to good coaching and the little basics and skills of a footballer, I think it's great for them to have right now.
Manchester City Football School provides great exposure to the Man City training and playing philosophy that focuses on skills, creativity and game intelligence. How important do you think that is for the development of the next generation of footballers?
Yeah, I think it's really important. I think the style of play at the City should be shown throughout the youth age groups and stuff, and yeah, I think it's important to have so many older role models who you can sort of follow in their footsteps and hopefully be like in the future, and I think it's so important for us to be able to come to places like this and show our support for that.
That's Lauren Hemp and Mary Fowler, who are out in the community while, of course, we are over in Australia. I love to see some of the community work that's obviously going on with City's clubs all around the globe. But of course, today, the Perth International Cup final, City taking on PSG. We've seen the City team. Let's have a look now at the PSG team for today. Kijanek is the captain. Dudek, Gaetino, Di Almeida, Lejuli, Karshui, Ibayin, Fazer, Gioro, Lucha and Katoto. That is the starting 11 for PSG. And then if you look to the subs bench, there will be a name that is very familiar to us all. Of course, Mary Earps, England's goalkeeper, former Manchester United goalkeeper, signed for PSG in the summer. Mary Earps is on the bench for PSG today. So, Izzy, you are the perfect person to have with us today because, of course, you played in Lyon and over in France. It seems from that it is a PSG versus Lyon.
Oh, yeah.
It seems to be a head-to-head that has been kind of constant in France.
Yeah.
Is that the kind of the big battle in France?
Yeah, that's the derby. Although geographically in France, not that close, Lyon and France. I think 2 hours if you get the high-speed train, but there's a fair distance. But between these two clubs, there's an intense rivalry between Lyon and PSG, and we all know what PSG are as a football club. They've always been there or thereabouts in men's football in terms of Champions League. They're a big name, and their women's team have been on this sort of quest to dethrone Lyon for the last 10 years. They occasionally nick them to a trophy, and I think signing the England #1 at the moment, Mary Earps, to bolster their squad. I think there's players in that team who, it's interesting, there's a player on the bench called Mbok, who's one of the best centre-backs I've ever played with. I played with her at Lyon, and she's just made the move from Lyon to PSG this summer, which is it's a little bit like moving from City to United in France.
Really?
Yeah, it's a little bit like that. Probably didn't go down too well with the fans, but a move where she obviously thought for her career was a positive move. But yeah, no, this team are aggressive, they're technical, quite unpredictable. And I think that's what makes this a good tie for City, because Man City, if anyone does their research on them as a football club, and this team in particular, the way they play is pretty staple. It's just a case of stopping them do that, and they've got a solution for everything. PSG are a little bit more sporadic with their, you don't really know whether you're going to get direct football, whether you're going to get them to build from the back. So I think those challenges will be really good for Gareth Taylor's side today. There's a midfielder in there, Grace Greoro, who's one of the captains of the French national team. She's powerful. She's hard to stop. Don't give her any time on the ball. So this will be a brilliant test for Jess Park and Laura Blinkilde-Brown in the midfield there to, deal and test themselves against the top French international player.
Yeah, 87 caps.
Wow.
She's had for France.
Yeah, not bad.
So, yes, yeah, very, very much a stalwart in that French team. In terms of PSG, you say they've tried to nick a few trophies off Lyon. They've managed it, but only a couple of times.
Yeah.
So they won the league 2021, 2 cups in 18 and 22.
Yeah.
So they've only managed to nip them off Lyon a couple of times, but they have got to the Champions League final twice. So in terms of City, obviously we know we're back in the Champions League this season. Is this going to be a good test for us? Just a little kind of ease into what we can expect in the Champions League?
Absolutely. I mean, this is perfect. It's crazy that, that this game is happening now. It's as in the time of the season, but this is what pre-season is all about, testing yourself against the best. And the Champions League will present a whole new challenge for Gareth Taylor this season. The WSL, he knows what he's going to get from every team. Not to say you don't do your research, because of course you do. But this game in particular, the unpredictability of PSG will really help Gareth Taylor establish a lot about his team and how he's going to move forward with them in Europe.
So we've seen shots there of Mary Earps, obviously, as you say, the England #1, someone that we all know very, very well. There was rumours for a while about Mary leaving United. When it came to it, were you surprised about where her destination has been?
I was, yeah. I thought staying in England would be, where I thought she would stay in England, basically. And I thought she'd try and go to a club where, there was an increased chance of winning trophies. I think Manchester United, obviously they won the FA Cup last season, which was huge, and for her to go out of there with a trophy, I think was probably really good on a personal level for her. But yeah, I was interested by the move. I can understand it. She obviously saw PSG as a top European club, and I think their history in the Champions League wouldn't necessarily suggest to me that they're going to be, semi-final to final candidates again. But she'll be part of that quest to try and get up there again with that club. So, she faces competition as well. It's the Polish international #1 goalkeeper, and who's starting today. I'm not going to attempt to say her surname again.
I'm not either.
Myself, but we all saw it on the team sheet. She's really good keeper. She's been a staple in that PSG team for many years. So Mary Earps will have to dethrone her before she gets that consistency. But I think she'll expect challenges in the French league. It's not the same as the WSL, and I found that out when I went there. The competition now in the WSL is at its best. The French league, whenever you play Lyon, brilliant. It's like a derby day. But the other teams in the league, you've got Paris FC, who are a good team. You've got Montpellier, Bordeaux. But on the whole, you would expect more competition in the WSL by a mile.
Kijanek.
Kijanic.
That totally just came from only me and only me. I didn't get any help with that at all. Kijanic. So that's really interesting about the French league then. So for England fans, obviously with Mary Earps being England's #1 still, should they be concerned at all, or in terms of will she keep up to the levels playing in the French league? Yeah,
well, that's going to be interesting to see that evolve. And I mean, Mary Earps she's a top professional. I'm sure she will be. She's in a high quality training environment every day, which definitely helps. I think sustaining that #1 jersey at PSG or getting it and then keeping it will be the challenge for her. And maybe she wanted the challenge, but I think with England, you go onto an England team and you're looking at Hannah Hampton, you're looking at Chiara Keating, two goalkeepers waiting in the wings there of the highest quality and both very young as well. So yeah, Mary Earps, I think she faces a real challenging season, but one I'm sure she can rise to.
Thank you. Love that insight there about the French league as well. So we are about less than 15 minutes away from today's kickoff. You can watch the game on City Plus, or you can listen for free on the Manchester City app as well. We are working Izzy hard today because we are going to send you off to do some co-commentary for that game as well. So thank you. We very much appreciate it. So we mentioned a little bit earlier, Vivian Midar. We are all very, very excited to have her here at Manchester City. Well, while she's been in Perth, she's decided to take us on a little tour of Fremantle.
So we're in Fremantle. It's actually a town close to Perth. I am going to take some pictures. I did tell Alex to bring her camera, but she didn't. So we're reliable on me today. So yeah, it's been good so far. Here we go again. I bet you that normally my pictures are really nice and now I'm not going to have one nice one. Meet one of you. Who are we looking at?
I don't know. He's videoing.
Vivian Midar, the photographer. Who knew as well? WSL top goal scorer and photographer. Love that. Is it a wonderful opportunity when you sign a new club to then be able to go on a pre-season tour and have dedicated time with your new team?
Yeah, it's brilliant. I think when you're back here at CFA and you're in your training regime, you go in, you train, you have lunch together. Normally everyone will just go home, back to their own lives, whatever. But being on tour, it's a brilliant time because you're eating every meal together, lunch, breakfast, lunch, dinner, which is a really good time for players to bond. And then obviously the time spent away from the training pitch, you're normally together. It's perfect. And I think, for Midar to sort of settle into a new club. She's gone from a big club in Arsenal to another massive club in Man City. She'll have probably needed to embed herself within the squad very quickly, and I'm sure she's a very popular member amongst the group. And like we said earlier, her leadership skills and just who she is will definitely, add a real good aura to the squad as well.
You, when you were at Lyon, played against City in a pre-season friendly over in America. How was that, playing against your old team?
It was like my first game, actually. We'd both gone out. Yeah, it was funny because we'd gone out to America, I want to say Miami. And it was actually funny because our hotels were opposite each other. So I actually spent a lot of time in the City Hotel with my former mates. Well, they are still my mates, my former teammates. Yes. But yeah, it was a bit strange. But I think it's always a fixture you look to when you move clubs. And obviously, if you move a different country, you don't really expect to play that team unless it's in a Champions League game. But, straight away, get it out of the way. But yeah, no, it's absolutely fine. And I think for Midar, obviously, they play Arsenal, Man City play Arsenal, first game of WSL. Yeah. So for her, she's straight back to the Emirates on the 22nd of September, I believe.
Yes.
So yeah, that'll be good for her to get that one out of the way, and hopefully she can have a big impact in that game as well.
Yeah, 3 weeks today, we are back in WSL action. Just that little game there against Arsenal. Izzy says we'll be fine, so I believe her. All is well. Less than 10 minutes until the kick-off in today's Perth International Cup final. Here is the Manchester City starting 11, just as a little reminder, or indeed, if you are just joining us, a very, very big welcome to Matchday Live. So, it's 5 changes from the team that beat Leicester on penalties midweek. So, you can see in goal there, after her incredible penalty shootout saves, Yamashita is starting today, and then there is our captain Alex Greenwood, and then it's Fowler, Kennedy, Uwabi, Park, Kasparai, Blindkill, Brown, Shaw and Hasegawa. So that is the starting 11 for today, and you can see in that starting 11 today is the Australian international player Alana Kennedy, and we just heard from her a little bit earlier.
Alana, yesterday we chatted to your teammate Alex Greenwood, and she said that you have a telepathic partnership. Do these sort of matches help strengthen that?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's been a few months since we played together, so I'm looking forward to getting that partnership going again today. But yeah, I think every game so far for us is a build into, off the back of what we did last season and then building into this season as well.
In the last match, we heard a huge roar for yourself and for Mary Fowler. Do you have a special message for the fans here?
Just to thank you. It's been really nice to see so many Aussie City fans. I've been pleasantly surprised with the support. So it's a nice feeling for us, and hopefully the same again today.
Good luck out there.
Thank you. Cheers.
Oh, I loved that girl's sign. And then when she realised she was on TV, she got all shy and she was hiding behind her sign there. So that was Alana Kennedy. She starts today, speaking a little bit earlier ahead of the Perth International Cup final today. So, Izzy, we are only moments away now from the game. What sort of game do you think you're expecting for City today?
Yeah, I think this is a game where Man City need to step up the tempo. I think that the first game against Leicester, I think it was a little bit passive and slow, expected. First game of pre-season, but I think this is going to be played at a much higher intensity, which will be fantastic for the players. Physical exposure. I think PSG will bring so much unpredictability, so that'll be exciting to watch. And I think Manchester City, this is a game where they need to impose their quality, stick to the structure, and there's players there now, I would probably say, playing for their shirts. So this is really exciting for City fans to watch and see how that's going to unfold, and hopefully another City win.
So we heard Gareth say, when we saw his interview a little bit earlier, that it's all about the minutes, it's all about the preparation for the new season, it's not about the winning. We know on Wednesday night that he played 21 of the 23 available players, so everybody was getting minutes. Today, is everybody going to get minutes, or is he going to go out with a team to win? Is the win, even though he said he isn't, is the win the focus?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. It'll be interesting to see that play out, to be honest with you. I think minutes is important, but I think winning is also important. And I think when you make a lot of changes within a game, it can disrupt the flow quite a lot. And we know in the WSL, Man City fans will know that Gareth Taylor doesn't tend to make that many changes during games. He tends to keep the 11 and maybe make 1 or 2 during a game. So that's why I'm saying keep your shirt. Because if you keep your shirt, there's a high chance you'll play in the majority of a game under Gareth Taylor. And I can see why he does that. So this is exciting for the fans. I think this is exciting for the players because Champions League football is nearly upon us. And this club belongs in the Champions League. So great opposition to test yourself against. And like I said, playing for your shirt. Chloe Kelly, Leia Alejandri on the bench, 2 top players. I think we'll probably see them enter the pitch tonight. Or today, whatever day it is, time it is in Australia. Tonight for them, this morning for us.
Over there, yeah. What's your score prediction?
Score prediction 2-1 City.
Thank you. Lovely. Izzy, thank you so much for being here now. As soon as you don't see us anymore, Izzy's going to be running off because she is on commentary today. You can listen to this game on the Manchester City app, or you can watch the full game on City Plus. Of course, if you don't have City Plus yet, incredible content, incredible documentaries, and then you get the live games from the EDS, from the under-18s, and, of course, as well for the women's team. So best of luck to City. Hopefully, we'll be talking very, very shortly at half-time, full-time, about a trophy, a first trophy lift of the season for City.
Thanks, Natalie. Yep, terrific build-up as always. And don't forget, all the best post-match reaction to follow. But for now, 90 minutes exclusive commentary here on City Plus. You are very welcome to Matchday live commentary from wherever you are watching around the world, just after 10 a.m. here in the UK. Local time in Perth, just after 5 p.m. And very much a Again, as we saw in midweek, a Mancunian feel about the weather, around about 14 degrees over in Perth, Western Australia. And confirmation of the starting 11s. Let's bring you right up to date with the changes then. 5 for Manchester City. Ayaka Yamashita gets her reward for her penalty heroics in midweek. New signing, the Japan international, 6-time title winner in Japan. Kirsty Kashparai, Alana Kennedy, Alex Greenwood, Leila Wahabi, Jess Park, Yui Hasagawa, Laura Blinkilder-Brown, Mary Fowler, Bunny Shaw and Lauren Hemp. So Gareth Taylor includes 2 Matildas, Alana Kennedy, we were just hearing from, and Mary Fowler in vision right now. Had a good chance in midweek, Mary, made a good cameo coming on as a second half substitute. And for Paris Saint-Germain, 6 changes. Katarina Kidrinek, Jade Leguli, Eva Gatino, Paulina Dudek, fellow Poland international, Sakina Kashui, Grace Gayoro, Ene Abayalin, Lorena Fraser, my apologies, Elisa de Almeida, Maria Antoinette Katoto, otherwise known as TT, top scorer at the recent Olympics for France, ended the competition with 5, and Romeo Lucia